Yet while the lion fears losing his kingdom, another traveler of the Serengeti faces a very different challenge. He does not rule territory. He does not command respect through strength. He does not roar across the plains to announce his presence. Instead, his survival depends on something far more fragile and far more powerful staying with the herd. As twilight settles across the grasslands and the aging lion disappears into the shadows, a distant sound begins to rise from the horizon. At first it resembles the rumble of distant thunder, but there are no storm clouds in the sky. The sound grows louder, deeper, and more relentless until the earth itself seems to tremble beneath the weight of countless hooves. A river is moving across Serengeti, yet this river is made not of water but of life. This is the migration of the wildebeest. More than 1.2 million wildebeest, accompanied by hundreds of thousands of zebras and gazelles, participate in what scientists consider the largest terrestrial migration on Earth. Every year, these remarkable animals travel nearly 1,000 kilometers across Tanzania and Kenya in search of fresh grass created by seasonal rains. Unlike the lion, whose power comes from dominance, the wildebeest survives through endurance. An adult wildebeest can weigh between 180 and 250 kilograms and maintain steady movement for extraordinary distances, yet its greatest weapon is neither speed nor strength. Its greatest weapon is unity. One morning, as the herd approaches a swollen river, a young calf hesitates at the muddy bank. The water churns with powerful currents. Beneath the surface, enormous Nile crocodiles wait in complete silence, some exceeding 5 meters in length and weighing more than 700 kilograms. Around the calf, thousands of bodies surge forward like a living tide. Instinct urges him to follow. Fear tells him to stay behind. For a moment, he stands alone. In nature, isolation is often the first step toward disaster. The calf finally leaps. The river explodes into chaos as hooves strike water. Mothers call for their young crocodiles, launch upward from the depths, and survival hangs on decisions measured in seconds. Many will cross safely, some will not. Yet despite the danger, the migration continues because stopping is often more dangerous than moving forward. Humans know this feeling well. We fear being left behind by our peers, separated from our families, excluded from our communities, or abandoned during difficult times. The wildebeest lives with this fear every day. Its greatest enemy is not always the predator hiding in the grass. Often its greatest enemy is distance itself. The lion teaches us that power cannot stop time. The wildebeest teaches us that weakness can become strength when individuals stand together. Because survival is rarely achieved alone. Survival is built through connection, through persistence, and through the courage to keep moving even when fear whispers that the journey is impossible. As the endless herd disappears beyond another horizon following rains they cannot see and destinations they cannot fully understand, the wildebeest leaves behind a lesson written across the plains of Africa. The strongest force in nature is not dominance, but unity. And sometimes the difference between life and death is simply refusing to face the world alone. Stretching across endless golden grasslands beneath an ever-changing African sky, Serengeti is more than a destination. It is nature's greatest theater, where millions of animals move together in a rhythm older than human history itself. Here, powerful lions patrol territories they must constantly defend not only against rivals, but against time itself. Here, vast herds of wildebeest surge across the plains like living rivers, driven by an instinct so ancient that even science struggles to fully explain it. Here, vast herds of wildebeest surge across the plains like living rivers, driven by an instinct so ancient that even science struggles to fully explain it. Here, elephants carry generations of memories across the landscape, while hyenas navigate a world where intelligence can be just as important as strength. What makes this place so captivating is not simply the animals that live here, but the fears that shape their lives. The lion fears losing its kingdom. The wildebeest fears becoming separated from the herd. The elephant fears losing those it loves. And the hyena fears being cast aside by its own clan. And perhaps that is why Serengeti feels so familiar, because beneath our differences, we share many of the same struggles. Like these animals, we pursue goals while fearing failure, protect what we love while fearing loss, and move toward uncertain futures while searching for our place in the world. Tonight we journey into a land where every footprint tells a story. Every hunt reveals a lesson, and every survival carries a deeper meaning. Welcome to Serengeti, one of the greatest wildernesses on Earth, and welcome to nature's animals. The lion is often called the king of the savannah. But what if the greatest threat to a king is not an enemy but time itself? As the first golden rays of morning spread across the endless grasslands of Serengeti, an aging male lion rises from the dust. His mane, once dark and imposing like a storm cloud gathering on the horizon, now carries the pale marks of countless seasons. Nearby lionesses prepare for another hunt, while playful cubs chase one another through the tall grass, unaware that the ruler watching over them is fighting a battle far more dangerous than any confrontation with rivals. For years he has dominated this territory. At his peak, he could weigh more than 250 kilograms, unleash a roar heard up to 8 kilometers away, and command a pride whose survival depended upon his strength. To the outside world he appears invincible, yet nature sees something different. Nature sees a clock that never stops ticking. African lions are among the most powerful predators on Earth. Adult males possess extraordinary muscular strength, powerful jaws capable of generating bite forces exceeding 650 psi, and the social advantage of living within organized prides. Unlike many large cats, lions rely heavily on cooperation. Females hunt together, defend cubs together, and raise the next generation together. This social structure has helped lions remain one of Africa's most successful predators for thousands of years. Yet beneath this image of power lies a hidden fear. Scientific studies show that male lions typically hold control of a pride for only 2 to 4 years before younger challengers arrive. Every scar across a lion's face tells the same story. Every broken canine tooth whispers the same warning. Every sunrise brings him one day closer to the moment when strength begins to fade. One evening, as dust drifts across the plains like smoke from an ancient fire, a distant roar echoes through the darkness. It does not belong to him. Somewhere beyond the horizon, younger males are approaching. The sound rolls across the grasslands like a declaration from nature itself. A new generation is coming. Humans understand this fear more than we often realize. A business leader fears losing the company he spent decades building. An athlete fears the day younger competitors run faster. A parent fears becoming unable to protect those they love. The lion's struggle is not merely about territory. It is about responsibility, identity, and the painful realization that no position of power lasts forever. This truth becomes even more significant when viewed through the lens of conservation. A century ago, an estimated 200,000 lions roamed across Africa's vast landscapes. Today, fewer than 25,000 remain in the wild. Habitat loss, conflict with humans, and declining prey populations continue to reduce their numbers. The king of beasts is no longer fighting only rival lions, he is fighting for the future of his species. Perhaps that is why the lion remains one of nature's most compelling symbols. We admire his strength, but we relate to his vulnerability. We celebrate his victories, but we understand his fears. Because the greatest lesson of the lion is not that power conquers all things. The greatest lesson is that true greatness is measured by how we carry our responsibilities while we still have the strength to do so. In the Serengeti, the king still walks beneath the African sun, his shadow stretching across the grasslands like a fading crown. Yet his story reminds us that even the mightiest ruler cannot defeat time, and that courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to keep moving forward despite it. Yet while the lion fears losing his kingdom, another traveler of the Serengeti faces a very different challenge. Because survival is rarely achieved alone. Survival is built through connection, through persistence, and through the courage to keep moving even when fear whispers that the journey is impossible. Yet every great migration leaves something behind. As the endless columns of wildebeest disappear into the distance and the thunder of hooves slowly fades across the Serengeti, another figure emerges from the shadows left in their wake. This is the spotted hyena. Few animals in Africa have been judged more harshly, and perhaps few animals have been understood less. For generations, the hyena has been portrayed as nature's thief, a coward lurking at the edge of danger, waiting for others to do the difficult work. Its eerie calls echo through the darkness like laughter, reinforcing a reputation built more on myth than reality. One evening, shortly after a river crossing, a young wildebeest becomes separated from the safety of the herd. Exhausted and vulnerable, it wanders through the fading light, searching for familiar calls. Not far away, a clan of hyenas watches in silence. There is no reckless charge, no mindless aggression. Instead, the group begins to coordinate. One moves left, another circles wide, a third quietly blocks the escape route. What unfolds resembles less a mob and more a military operation. Science reveals a surprising truth. Spotted hyenas are among the most intelligent carnivores on Earth. Studies suggest their problem-solving abilities rival those of some primates, and their social complexity often exceeds that of many large predators. A single clan may contain more than 80 individuals organized within intricate social hierarchies that require memory, communication, cooperation, and strategic thinking. Female hyenas dominate males, making them one of the few large mammal societies led almost entirely by females. Physically, they are equally impressive. Adult spotted hyenas can weigh between 45 and 80 kilograms and possess one of the strongest bite forces among mammals, exceeding 100 psi in some measurements. Their jaws can crush bones that lions often leave behind, extracting nutrients that would otherwise return unused to the earth. In many regions of Africa, scientific observations show that hyenas obtain the majority of their food through active hunting rather than scavenging, achieving hunting success rates that frequently rival or surpass those of lions. Yet despite these remarkable abilities, the hyena lives beneath a shadow it cannot escape. As darkness settles across the plains and the clan's haunting calls drift beneath a sky filled with stars, the spotted hyena leaves behind a lesson older than civilization itself. Never mistake appearance for truth, because nature's most misunderstood creatures are often among its most extraordinary. Yet as the haunting calls of the hyenas slowly dissolve into the African night, and the vast Serengeti settles beneath a sky crowded with stars, another figure begins to emerge from the darkness. Yet as the laughter of the hyenas fades into the African night and the stars reclaim the sky above the Serengeti, another presence begins to emerge from the darkness. Unlike the lion that rules through power, the wildebeest that survives through unity, or the hyena that triumphs through intelligence, this animal seems to carry something far older. It walks not like a predator seeking opportunity, nor like prey fleeing danger, but like a living memory moving across the landscape itself. This is the African elephant, and if the lion is the king of the savannah, then the elephant is its ancient historian. As dawn breaks over the plains, a young elephant calf struggles to keep pace with its family. The journey is long, the heat relentless, and the nearest water source lies many kilometers away. Around the calf, enormous adults move with calm determination, their massive feet pressing deep impressions into the earth, as though the land itself recognizes their passage. The matriarch leads from the front, not because she is the strongest, but because she remembers. She remembers rivers that flowed decades ago. She remembers droughts that claimed entire landscapes. She remembers paths invisible to younger generations. Science confirms what the savannah has known for centuries. African elephants possess some of the most extraordinary memories in the animal kingdom. Adult females can remember seasonal water sources across territories spanning thousands of square kilometers, and can recognize the calls of dozens, sometimes hundreds of other elephants. Their brains weigh approximately 4.5 to 5 kilograms, making them the largest brains of any land animal on Earth. Yet intelligence alone does not define them. An adult African elephant can stand nearly 4 meters tall at the shoulder and weigh between 4,000 and 6,500 kilograms, making it the largest land animal alive today. Its trunk contains more than 40,000 individual muscles, allowing it to uproot trees with tremendous force or gently lift a newborn calf with remarkable precision. Such strength appears almost unstoppable, but nature often hides vulnerability beneath greatness. One afternoon, the calf suddenly falls behind. The herd continues moving. Dust rises. Distance grows. For a brief moment, the young elephant disappears from view. Immediately, the atmosphere changes. The mother stops. The matriarch turns. The entire family responds. What had seemed like a collection of individuals suddenly becomes something else entirely. They form a living shield around the missing calf, communicating through low-frequency rumbles that travel several kilometers across the landscape. The savannah itself seems to carry their concern. In that moment, their greatest fear becomes visible. Not death, not hunger, not predators. Researchers have documented elephants displaying behaviors remarkably similar to grief. Families have been observed remaining beside deceased relatives for hours, sometimes days, gently touching bones with their trunks years after death. They recognize absence. They remember relationships. They mourn. And perhaps that is why elephants feel so familiar. Humans build homes, friendships, and families because we fear losing those we love. Elephants do the same. Humans carry memories of people who shaped our lives long after they are gone. Elephants appear to do the same. The largest animal on land is driven not by domination but by connection. Yet this story carries a warning. At the beginning of the 20th century, Africa supported several million elephants. Today, only around 400,000 remain in the wild. Habitat fragmentation, human conflict, and poaching for ivory continue to threaten populations across the continent. The giant that once seemed eternal is now fighting for its future. And so, as the sun begins to sink beyond the Serengeti and the elephant family disappears into the golden horizon, a deeper truth slowly emerges from the stories of all four animals we have followed. The lion taught us that power cannot defeat time. As the final light fades across the African horizon, the stories of the lion, wildebeest, hyena, and elephant leave us with a timeless truth. Survival is not measured by strength alone, but by resilience, unity, wisdom, and love. In the wild, every journey carries a lesson and every life leaves a legacy. The animals of Africa remind us that true greatness lies not in conquering others, but in enduring, adapting, and protecting what matters most. Thank you for joining us on this journey through nature's animals.
Stretching across several African countries such as Kenya, Tanzania, South Africa, and Botswana, the savanna is one of the most iconic and awe-inspiring ecosystems on Earth. With its sweeping grasslands, low shrubs, and the occasional lone acacia tree, the savanna is a land where the sun almost never sets. Each morning, a thin veil of mist slowly lifts to reveal fresh footprints in the sand, the first signs of another brutal day of survival. Here, nature is not only beautiful, it is fierce and full of challenges. Massive herds of wildebeest and zebras migrate hundreds of kilometers each year, crossing rivers and parched earth in search of water and fresh grazing lands. Meanwhile, lions, leopards, and cheetahs lie in wait, ready to strike the moment a single misstep betrays their prey. Towering African elephants roam in search of food and water, unintentionally forging paths for many other species to follow. Birds, reptiles, insects, and countless other small creatures all contribute to a wild symphony of life, forming an intricate web that is as delicate as it is astonishing. The savanna is not just a cradle of life, it is a living testament to the law of survival of the fittest. In this vast arena, every creature, from the mightiest beast to the tiniest insect, plays a vital role in the ecological chain. This is the thundering heart of the wild, a place where time seems to slow, and nature whispers stories that have echoed across millions of years. Beneath the blazing sun of the African savanna, where every creature struggles to survive, a silent army moves steadily toward its prey. No roaring, no chaotic chase, just disciplined warriors operating like an unstoppable hunting machine. The African wild dogs. Don't be fooled by their lean appearance. When a pack of African wild dogs arrives, it's no longer a hunt. It's an execution signed in advance. With tightly coordinated pack hunting strategies, each member has a role: the leader, the flanker, the ambusher. Every strike is precise, every step calculated, and the result? A staggering success rate of up to 80%. The highest among all carnivores in the animal kingdom. During the breeding season, only the dominant female is allowed to give birth, to ensure that the group's resources are not dispersed. After about 70 days of gestation, she gives birth to 6 to 16 young in a secluded den, often an abandoned badger or hyena den. During the first weeks, the group focuses on protecting and feeding the mother and her young, bringing back pre-chewed prey to help the young digest. The young begin to leave the den after about 3 weeks and gradually learn to participate in social life, hunting, guarding, and communicating in their own language. Can you imagine it? A strong, healthy antelope brought down in mere minutes, not by brute force, but by lethal intelligence and deadly unity. These are no ordinary hunters. They are the death squad of the savannah, the rulers of daylight in this kingdom of blood and dust. Do you have the guts to follow their every move? Under the scorching sun of the savannah land and life gradually falls silent, that's when true terror awakens. Quiet, soundless, and without warning. Beneath the dry underbrush, hidden among seemingly harmless twigs, a deadly assassin waits. The puff adder, one of the most dangerous venomous snakes in all of Africa. Don't be fooled by its sluggish appearance. One wrong move, just 0.25 seconds, and it's already too late. With a lightning-fast strike and an incredibly potent venom, the puff adder is one of the leading causes of snakebite fatalities in Africa. It doesn't need to chase, doesn't need to show off. It simply waits. And then, like a death sentence rising from the earth, it strikes in an instant. When light and darkness collide, it's not a time for rest. It's the golden hour for predators that exist between worlds. They belong neither today nor tonight. These double-edged creatures move to a rhythm of their own, striking without mercy during the fleeting transition between dusk and dawn. In the tall grass, a sudden leap shatters the silence. It's the serval, a small but surprisingly deadly wildcat. With its antenna-like ears constantly tuned to its prey, it can leap up to 12 feet, snatching up a snake or rat hidden deep in the grass. Its kill rate, up to 50% far higher than many larger predators. In the wilds of the savannah, power is not just about muscle or size. Sometimes it's silence, precision, and perfect adaptation that are the most terrifying weapons. Think hyenas are just predators? Forget those stereotypes, because the spotted hyena is more than an opportunist. It is a true survival machine, forged over millions of years of evolution in the harshest grasslands on the planet. With its eerie laugh that echoes through the jungle, hyenas declare their territory not through sheer force, but through a brutal matriarchal social system, where the larger, more ferocious females hold sway over the entire pack. Hyenas can rip through a buffalo's thick hide with jaws so powerful they crush and digest bones, skin, and sinew, parts even lions and leopards leave behind. But what truly makes them terrifying isn't just strength, it's their brutal adaptability. When hunting fails, they transform into tireless scavengers, trailing the roars, the scent of blood, and the shadows of other predators, ready to steal whatever remains. In a world where life hangs by a thread, hyenas don't seek glory, they seek survival. And they do it better than any other predator out here. Across the sun-scorched plains of the Savannah, where every blade of grass may conceal claws, the greatest weapon isn't fangs or speed, it's beauty. Here roams a creature cloaked in nature's most curious attire, black and white, like the keys of a piano. The zebra, a living work of art in a land ruled by predators. But don't let the stripes fool you. This is a creature of strategy, discipline, and unshakable resilience. No two zebras share the same stripe pattern. Each one is a unique masterpiece, a visual identity that bonds mother and foal, friend and ally. When a leopard lurks in the brush, the zebra is not alone. It lives in herds, moving as one. And when they bolt, the stripes blend into a dizzying illusion, a storm of motion that confuses even the sharpest hunter's eye. But zebras do more than run. They fight. A well-placed kick from an adult zebra can shatter a lion's jaw. And in the fragile days after birth, a zebra mother will isolate her newborn, allowing it to memorize her face, her scent, her voice, their lifeline in the chaos of the wild. Their appearance may whisper peace, but every gallop is a sprint for survival, and every stripe is a secret code against death. In the deadly game of the savannah, zebras choose to endure with unity, agility, and a design nature never meant to hide, but to outwit. Savannah is not just an endless stretch of grasslands. It's a massive lifeline that spans across the African continent, covering up to 65% of its land area. Every blade of grass, every winding stream, every tiny creature plays a vital role in holding together a fragile thread of life in this complex and delicate ecosystem. From the sun-scorched grasslands to winding rivers, from sparse forests to low shrubs, every layer of the savannah is part of a vast biological machine where each species plays an irreplaceable role. Without antelopes, lions would starve. Without hyenas, carcasses would rot across the plains. Without small birds, pests would devastate the entire plant system. This is not just an ecosystem. It's a giant domino chain where the fall of a single piece could bring the entire land crashing down. Are you sure you've truly grasped the fragility hidden beneath Savannah's fierce exterior? Or have you only seen the surface of a land silently balancing itself, every second, every minute, just to avoid vanishing forever? You might think the most fearsome predators of the savannah are lions, hyenas, or crocodiles. Think again. The most ruthless destroyer of this wild land has no claws or fangs. Its name is humanity. In just a few short decades, temperatures in the savannah have surged by 1.2 to 1.5 degrees Celsius, enough to disrupt the biological rhythms of the entire ecosystem. Lions struggle to hunt, cheetahs fail more often in their high-speed chases, and once thriving herds of antelope now scatter in confusion, their breeding cycles thrown into chaos. Same kind turns against each other. Survival overwhelms family affection. Herbivores like antelope and zebras are also facing a survival crisis. The loss of vegetation due to prolonged drought has left them severely lacking food, disrupting their reproduction and weakening entire herds, triggering a domino effect that threatens the collapse of the entire food chain, but still have to wander dozens, even hundreds of kilometers just to find a small remaining puddle of water. Twenty 20% of the savannah is disappearing, not because of time, but due to desertification. Once lush landscapes are being erased from the map, replaced by dust, cracked earth, and a deadly silence. Prey has become so scarce that even the predators are now the ones starving. And then, when nature can no longer sustain itself, wild animals have no choice but to move closer to the human world. Each year, over 200 encounters between humans and wildlife take place, a sobering wake-up call echoing through the conscience of mankind. If we don't act now, the savannah will no longer be a place of life, but a graveyard for the creatures that once ruled the wild. Are you brave enough to face that truth? But there is hope. Around the world, organizations like WWF, Worldwide Fund for Nature, WCS, Wildlife Conservation Society, Panthera, and IUCN are fighting day and night to protect the last survivors. They are raising public awareness. The roar of the lion is no longer just a book, and the footprints on the savannah are not erased by human neglect. As the first seasonal winds sweep across the Serengeti, heralding the arrival of the dry season, the herds grow restless. They sense what their ancestors have etched into their instincts for millions of years. It is time to leave. From the scorched grasslands to the sparse woodlands, the rhythmic pounding of hooves echoes like nature's silent symphony, marking the beginning of the greatest journey on Earth. Beneath the endless African sky, these creatures do not merely move, they fight to survive. Their journey follows no fixed schedule. It is dictated entirely by the rains and the pulse of the grassland. When the first rains fall upon the promised land in the distance, instinct drives them forward, no matter the perils that await. From the parched savannas to the raging rivers, every step is a choice between survival and oblivion. But no one stops. The Great Migration is not just a search for food and water. It is an eternal cycle of life and death, where the strong press on and the weak are forever claimed by the unforgiving land. The scorching sun blazes over the Serengeti, turning the once lush grasslands into a vast barren sea of gold, where every gust of hot wind carries thick clouds of dust, shrouding the horizon in a haze of despair. Thirst tightens its grip on the migrating herds, each heavy step dragging them across the parched earth, where nothing remains but hardship and exhaustion. But stopping means surrendering to the hunters, and so they press on. The sunken eyes of the wildebeest stare ahead, fixed on the last glimmers of water in the distance. They do not know that beyond the shimmering mirage, hidden in the tall grass and along the cracked riverbanks, their predators are waiting. Under the cloak of the Serengeti night, the predators rise. A deep, guttural roar tears through the silence, the voice of the lion shattering the stillness like a war cry. The herd jolts awake, fear rippling through their ranks. Above, the piercing eyes of hyenas gleam in the darkness, tracking the weak and the weary, those who have fallen behind. There is no need to rush. Their hunger has already done most of the work. A lone calf, separated from its mother, trembles on frail legs in the shadows. And then, in the span of a single breath, it is gone, swallowed by the merciless jaws of the hunt. Its final cries are lost to the vast, indifferent wilderness. Here, there is no mercy. The weak do not get a second chance. But if there is one trial that even the strongest beasts fear, it is the Mara River, the graveyard of the daring. Before them, the churning, murky waters roar like a living monster, waiting to claim its next victim. Dark shadows glide silently beneath the surface. Nile crocodiles, ancient predators that have waited patiently for this moment all year long. Then the first one leaps, and chaos erupts. The herd is thrown into the merciless jaws of nature, hooves thrashing, bodies crashing into one another, a frantic storm of desperation and survival. A wildebeest stumbles midstream. In the blink of an eye, the monstrous jaws clamp down. A violent tug, and the shadow vanishes beneath the current, dragging its prey into the depths, never to return. Hooves pound against the water, panicked cries pierce the sky. Every year, over 250,000 wildebeest and 30,000 zebras perish in these waters. Claimed by the river, the crocodiles, or simply by exhaustion, yet the herd does not stop. Fear cannot halt those who are desperate to survive. They must go on. There is no other choice. In the wild, life is never a given. It is a relentless battle between prey and predator, where only those who adapt best can continue forward. Strength does not come from a single individual, but from the power of the herd. Tens of thousands of wildebeest, zebras, and gazelles do not merely move. They sweep across the savannah like a living flood, an impenetrable wall of survival. When the first one leaps into the raging river, thousands more follow instantly, transforming into a wild storm of chaos, where even the monstrous Nile crocodiles can only seize the unfortunate few who stray too far from the mass. Disorder is their greatest weapon. When the herd moves as one, the hunters lose their advantage, their focus shatters, and countless prey slip through the jaws of death by the narrowest of margins. But survival is not just about numbers. Adaptation is the key. On the Serengeti Plains, no creature embodies the Great Migration more than the wildebeest. They are not merely travelers. They are symbols of endurance, of raw survival instinct. Each year, over 1.7 million wildebeest embark on the same monumental journey their ancestors have undertaken for millions of years. Not because they want to, but because they must. For them, movement is survival.